Crafty Charger is owned by Donna Biggs. He is a 2013 Chestnut gelding, now on Centerline.
Here is Crafty at the 2019 Retired Racehorse Project. And this is our eventing class, and we are in the dressage portion. So we are doing Novice Test B. He came down the center line pretty straight, and now we have to track right, and then I'm going to do a half halt to prepare him to track left. Now, Crafty has been in the training process kind of working on learning how to carry himself over his hind end. So you'll see sometimes he kind of struggles, he gets low in the pole, sometimes he breaks a little further back than I would like. So I'm constantly working on half halting, rebalancing, and trying to get the hind end underneath himself. And making sure I can get him straight. That was actually a really nice canter transition. Now I'm going to do a 20-meter circle. And we are in the big Rolex arena at Kentucky. So this is a great experience of education for these young horses to get in this type of atmosphere. And he's actually handling it pretty well. Comes down to the trot nicely, going into my corners. And again, working on getting him to come to that contact through pushing the hind leg underneath himself. So this is our stretchy trot. He started off pretty good, but then he kind of came up a little bit. I would have liked to have seen him take the bit out and kind of poked his nose out and come up through his back. But I kind of took what he gave me. So now I'm going to the change of direction. Another half halt, preparing him for the turn. Now a 20-meter circle at A. And he has very good movement, which is only going to get better the further he goes into training as his balance and strength continues to grow. Now working on sitting for him to prepare him for the corner to canter. That really helps him in his balance. Now cantering on the right lead, and we have an unfortunate little boo-boo right there. Someone you can't see, there's a knoll. Someone popped right up over the hill, but he actually did pretty good. I was able to minimize it, picked up the canter, and he went right back to work. So it was just a momentary lapse in concentration, and just really was that one movement. He came right back to work. Now we're in our walk, working on getting him to march. And I give him a little pat right here just to get him to take a deep breath, relax. And he actually starts to really open up over his back. But again, going back to that little spook, I really didn't worry too much about it. It was just the one movement. And I was really proud of how he handled himself after and went right back to work. Now collecting him back up for our transition to the walk, or to the trot rather, at A. And now we are going to do a short diagonal to X, and then we are going to prepare to halt at G. Almost perfectly square. And the judge afterwards says a couple of things to you, which is great for the feedback. She really liked Crafty and thought he was a pretty special guy, which we think so too, and really thought that he had some really nice movements in there. So now moving on to the show jump portion. And during this class, you can kind of choose which level you think is best for your horse. So they have beginner, novice, novice, and training level. I chose the novice level for him since this is where he is currently, and he tends to jump a little bit better with a little bit bigger fence. So now I'm just waiting for the judge to be ready, and as I'm waiting, I'm kind of going through my course, making sure I know where I'm going, and give him a little pat. And of course, as the whistle blows, he Does a little spook at the horse head standard thingies, but then again, goes right back to work. I really just, when you have a horse that's a little spooky like that, the best thing to do is just ignore it. It will eventually go away with mileage. Sometimes it might always be a little bit there, but again, I don't really like to make a big deal out of those things. So coming to the first fence, making sure he stays in the balance. I did the add down this line. Did that really well. I did the inside turn to 3 just to help keep him focused for a little bit longer. And again, he's kind of trying to wander a little bit in his focus outside the arena. So I just try to keep his attention. Got a really big jump in the 2. He listened to come back a little bit there. And he is a very catty horse, so you can kind of go from any bit of a distance. Kind of seeing all of the flyers right now. So now I need to get him back and balanced, because I've taken like 3 long spots. And so I come here to make him wait. It's unfortunate because he just ticked that rail. And then he jumped the last one really well. So I was pretty happy with that round. He's a little distracted in some areas, but for the most part he listened to me. Now heading on to cross country. And I have a little bit of spook at the first fence, which is to be expected with the horses kind of coming out here, out on the course. But again, he's pretty willing. He just wanted to take a peek at it. We're now heading to fence 2 and got in a pretty good rhythm. You can't really see that through the trees, but he jumps out really well. And now heading to fence 3, which is a brush fence. And again, you'll see there's a couple of jumps for our options. So we could choose kind of what heights that were best for our horses. It was really great experience too, because I felt like I could help build up his confidence. And then I could choose, as right here, I chose the training level size 1, which was a bonus point. And he did this beautifully. It was a mock corner. And now heading right-handed turn down the hill. I then chose the beginner novice size jump. Again, I'm wanting to kind of show off my horse a little bit, so I'm going to utilize what I know will show him the best. Really proud of how he galloped on through the water. And then we come up the hill to a house on the hill, left-handed turn, and we come back down through the water. And now we have several options with a bonus point of going up a pimple type fence. And I was kind of on the fence about it, but then I decided he was jumping so good and feeling really good, went for the pimple option because he cantered right through the water like a good boy. And he's very catty, so I was able to get up to the top, jumped it beautifully. Really happy. He felt really brave and confident through that question. And now we head to another kind of brushy type steeplechase. And again, I decided to take the beginner novice side because again, he also, this weekend there's a lot of jumping. So if I had the choice, I wanted to do a little bit of the smaller side form, minimize kind of the jumping that we were doing. Now I balance him going down the hill, coming towards a coffin question. So we had the brush jump, and then we had 4 strides to a ditch. Did that beautifully. And so now we head towards, come down the hill, and now we have to do the gallop portion of our test. So we get to show off our horse's gallop, which is probably one of my favorite parts of competing at the RRP. So I was able to let him kind of open up, and he was very willing to open up and gallop up the hill. And then was a really good boy and came right back. So really proud of how he finished up. We ended up second out of 94 horses, so really pleased with Crafty.